Hello everybody and welcome to Psychology 101. This is a general introduction to psychology. My name is Dr. Amy Spilkin and I want to take this opportunity to just introduce myself and go over everything you'll need to know in terms of the expectations for this class. And of course, if you have any questions after you finish listening to this, feel free to send me an email. So as a general introduction to myself, my name is Dr. Spilkin, and I have a PhD in clinical neuropsychology. Means that I work with, and actually in pediatric neuropsychology. So I work with children who have different neurological disorders. This could be something like having a stroke, being diagnosed with autism or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, children who have different metabolic disorders that affect the brain. And then as a neuropsychologist, I do cognitive testing. So I test things like their intelligence, their memory, their language skills. We often do imaging, things like MRI scans, which we'll learn about in this class, and try to kind of put the two together to say, well, if a child has a stroke in one particular area of the brain, these are the cognitive difficulties these children may have. And then we follow children over time. So after we first see them, they might be even 6 months old, 1 year old, and then follow them every year, every 2 years to see how the brain possibly changes. This is the idea of neuroplasticity. Besides research, I teach all the time, and it's actually my favorite thing to do. And I teach everything from Psych 101. I teach a lot of research classes and statistics classes, abnormal psychology classes, developmental psychology classes, really everything. So I'm always happy to talk about the field of psychology if you're ever interested. So that's me, Dr. Spilkin. Because this is a fully online class, meaning we will never meet in person this summer, you can reach me either by email, and that's probably the easiest way. And although I say please allow 24 hours for response, typically I get back to you much sooner than that. Or if you want to talk more in depth, we can have office hours on Zoom. Just send me an email and we'll set up an appointment. Now, in terms of the class, the materials that you'll need for the class is access to Canvas for the entire semester. And then we have a textbook by Light, Hull, and Ballantyne. It's the second edition of Presenting Psychology. It looks something like this. And because we are online, the easiest way to get this textbook is to go to this website right here that I have in blue. And this will allow you to purchase an all-digital, direct from the publisher copy of the textbook. And you'll also need what they call Launchpad. And Launchpad goes with the textbook, and it is an online homework website. There are also activities that I've posted on there, and it comes all together once you click this link. So this isn't the type of class where you can just find a very inexpensive copy of this book on some website. You really need the textbook as well as Launchpad. We take all of our tests on Launchpad, so you absolutely need the Launchpad part of the class. And so the easiest way to do this is you purchase, it's the ebook, Launchpad, access to all of our course activities through this link right here. Once you click the link, you'll be asked to register, and then you'll have 3 choices, but 2 of which will apply to this class. You can either purchase it right away, or they give you a temporary 14-day free trial. So if you don't have the money right away, or if you are considering if you're going to take the class or not take the class, you can start immediately. You can start today, starting your 14-day free trial. You have access to everything. You can complete all the activities, but within 14 days, you must purchase the book. Okay, you don't get to keep renewing your 14-day free trial. So at least that gives you a little leeway, but that's the best way. Now, if you really want a textbook, you could look for something online to rent, but you also will need to go to this website and purchase Launchpad, which also comes with the ebook. So if you're okay with simply an all digital format, this is the easiest way to go. Because this is an all online class, you will need access to a working computer for the entirety of the class. I understand sometimes you have a technical problem, a computer will break, but that's not going to be an excuse, particularly in the summer session where we only have 6 weeks, to say, well, my computer's broken for 3 weeks, I can't do the assignment. You're going to need to have access to an alternate computer or be able to borrow another computer quickly. You really need access. Every day we move through information very rapidly. And so, yes, I can give you a day to perhaps when something happens, if something happens to your computer, but you really need access to the internet and a computer for the whole semester. In terms of the description, this is an introduction in terms of psychology facts, principles, concepts, which are basic to understanding human behavior. And we'll introduce you to major topics in the field of psychology. We'll talk about neuroscience, sensation and perception, sleep, learning and memory, language, developmental psychology, psychological disorders, etc. And this is a really, we call it a survey course, where you're going to learn a little bit about all sorts of topics in psychology. And then if you decide you want to take more psychology classes, you would actually take semester-long classes in any of these topics. Like you could take a whole entire semester class on learning or on language or on psychological disorders. But right now we're kind of covering the topic, the basics. And the student learning objectives, I'll just let you read these. These are 3 things you'll be able to really know by the end of the semester. Our class organization, the class will consist primarily of online lectures, online homework, online activities, and online exams. We have a lot of little videos that are incorporated into the schedule where I can, and a couple of longer documentaries that are also very interesting and very informative. You will need to access Canvas, which you all must have done in order to access my video, and you'll also need to access Launchpad for our online Launchpad homework and other activities. This is that same website that I just provided above, and this will also be on Canvas in multiple places, and you'll basically need to check Canvas and Launchpad every week, and I would be checking them multiple times a week. I want to start with the idea of respect in an online class. This is expected of you in terms of your own respectful behavior in our online learning environment. Even though we're not in class, I will always treat you respectfully. My emails will be respectful to you all, and I ask that you use a respectful tone in all of your online submissions and communications with me. So our class will be set up in weekly modules. Now let me start by saying this is a very compressed class. We're taking 16 weeks and pushing it into 6 weeks. So you have a lot to do every week. So although these are weekly modules, you're going to be working through them, I would say, almost every day. You're going to want to be doing something for this class in order to complete that weekly module, because you're actually completing more than 2 weeks of material in each week of summer, if that makes sense, right? 16 weeks into 6 weeks. So there is quite a bit of information to learn, quite a few activities to do, and I would expect that you're working on this class quite consistently throughout the week. So our course is set up in weekly modules that can be accessed from the Canvas homepage. Each week I'm going to ask that you complete all the assignments in the module, and there will be a lecture video. I will lecture on every chapter, as well as different writing assignments. You'll need to complete the assignments for that week also that are due on Launchpad. So we have some assignments that are due on Canvas, some assignments that are due on Launchpad. For this class, each module opens on Monday morning around 1 a.m. and closes the following Sunday by 11:59 p.m. So you have all week to complete the assignments in that module. And as I said, there will be videos posted, all different assignments that must be completed. All of the assignments contribute to your understanding of the material as well as your grade in the class. I did my dissertation on learning and memory, and I can tell you the way you learn information is by repetition and using the information in different ways. And so you'll see there'll be my lecture. I'll expect you to read the textbook. There might be a written assignment asking you to kind of apply that information to your life. There may be a video of somebody else going through something similar to that, and you're going to answer questions about that video. So you're going to see the information in many different ways. So each week you're going to work your way through the module, completing all the assignments by their due dates. Please use whatever tools you need on Canvas, on your cell phone, on your computer to keep track of dates. It is your responsibility to turn assignments in on time. I'm going to give you some ideas of the type of assignments that you will have below here. You may complete any assignment in a module early, so feel free to start working on Monday and start getting things turned in, but I'm requesting that you do not wait until the end of the week to complete all of the assignments for that module. It's just too much. There's too much information. There's too many assignments, and you won't have time. If you wait till Sunday night to try to complete it, you will not be successful. So please work through the week, just like you were in a regular summer school class where you're spending 3 hours a day, maybe 2 or 3 days a week in class and then homework. That's kind of what I'm expecting here. So what you'll need to do is read the textbook. I've told you what chapters are due for each module. The book is a really interesting, really engaging textbook. It integrates real-life examples throughout the book. I really hope you actually enjoy reading it as much as you can enjoy reading a textbook, but you're going to need to read the textbook. I will provide videos, my own lecture on the textbook, but one is not in place of the other. You could maybe listen to my video, and then that'll give you a good basis to help you understand as you read the textbook, and then kind of go from there. You'll need both. My video obviously cannot cover every word that's in the chapter. All of your assignments for a module will be due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. I thought that was the easiest way when we're working online to have every assignment for that week due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. However, that doesn't mean to wait till Sunday at 11 o'clock to start working on it. Again, please work consistently through the week. So you'll have Canvas written assignments, and those are due on Canvas. There's usually a little text box you can type into that asks you to think about questions from the text or relate psychological concepts to your life. This is one of the things I love about psychology. Even if you never plan to take another psychology class again, what you learn in this class will relate to your life. Psychology is the study of human thoughts and behaviors and emotions, and we all have that. So I kind of call some of these assignments, I'll say journal psychology in your life, and these are ways to relate what we've learned to your life. Anyhow, those are the Canvas written assignments. You'll have Launchpad weekly assignments. These are assignments that you complete on Launchpad through that web link I gave you. So please check Launchpad to keep track of your assignments. Again, they're also due Sundays at 11:59. On Launchpad, there's a number of short videos, quizzes, and different things like that. So again, hopefully just another interesting way to look at the material. Each chapter also has what's called a learning curve homework assignment. These are very important. They're also due on Sundays. And when you get into Launchpad, you'll see this also. It will make sense as you click into Launchpad. You'll be expected to complete a learning curve homework assignment. And these assignments are adaptive, meaning that the goal is for you to understand the chapter. And so they ask you a question. If you get that question right, then the program assumes, okay, I know all of that information that went into my answer to that question, and you move on. If you get that question wrong, then that computer program is going to say, oh, you didn't quite understand this. Let's go back and ask some questions to help you understand that main concept. You will receive full credit for completing these learning curve homework assignments. The point is I want you to do them. And I don't care how many questions you get wrong or how long it takes you to complete them. They'll be really quick if you understand the material. If not, it'll take you a little bit longer, but by the time you finish these learning curve assignments, you should feel really good about the material, and that should help you do well on the exams. Which brings me to the exams. We have 3 exams. The 3rd exam is given on the last day of class and is the same format as the other exams, meaning it is not a cumulative final. Exams will be taking place in Launchpad on the date assigned in the syllabus. You can take the exam anytime on the day that it's assigned, and you have 60 minutes to complete the exam. But note that once you start the exam, you can't stop it and then come back later. So you have to take the test in one 60-minute session, but it doesn't matter to me when in the day you take that test. Although this is an online class, you will not have enough time to look up the answers to your test questions and teach yourself the material as you take the exam. You really need to study for the test, just like you would study for an actual exam. If you have official testing accommodations through MiraCosta, if you need extra time on exams and you have the official paperwork, let me know immediately, and I will give you that extra time on our online exams. In terms of late exams, it's your responsibility to take the test on the date scheduled. You have all day. It's actually a 2-day window to find a time for you to take the test. So really, there should not be any reason why you wouldn't be able to take the exam during the time that it's open. If you have an absolute emergency, that would be really the only reason to be able to take a late test. I understand, again, working from home, there are complications, different things that come up, but those are not excuses to not take a test. All right, so the test should be taken on the date unless you have a true emergency, and I'm hoping none of you do. So each week, be sure to complete all the assignments that are listed on Canvas and Launchpad. Completing the assignments will help you learn the material, and those assignments are worth 25% of your grade, so skipping assignments will negatively impact your grade. I know when you look on the modules, particularly because we're in this condensed summer format, it looks like a lot. There might be 10 different entries, but some of them are very quick. Shouldn't take you more than a few minutes. Some might be a quick video, a 2-minute video on sleep that I think is pretty interesting. Some might be a 3-sentence written assignment. So even though maybe it looks like there's a lot there, keep working through it, and not all of those assignments will take hours. Most of them won't, in fact. They're small little assignments to just help clarify the material and help you with your learning. So as you can see, there's a variety of assessment methods that we will use. Everything is done online. In terms of our course policies, academic integrity is very important to me, and MiraCosta expects very high standards of academic honesty from all students. So basically, no cheating. You can read all of this, but no cheating, no plagiarizing. If you do, you'll receive a 0 on the assignment, and you may fail the course. If you have any questions about the academic integrity policy, look at the course catalog. Feel free to contact me if you have questions about what academic integrity is, but work alone, do your own work, no cheating. That's really important to me. Attendance. You're expected to log in and start work on the first day of the class. Because this is an online course with no on-campus meetings. And I should tell you, this is not taking 2 midterms and the final on campus. Everything is online. So I'll change that. Even though we won't be meeting face-to-face, you must log into Canvas several times a week to keep going and make progress. You must show continued progress through the course, and that's measured by your completing the writing assignments, the tests, the homeworks, etc. And I'm sorry, we don't have a final project. That's coming out too. If you decide to drop the class, you must drop yourself. I will not drop you from the class. If you remain enrolled beyond the withdrawal deadline, then you will get a letter grade in the class, and that is affected by all of the work that you do. So I understand maybe something comes up this summer and you decide you don't want to take the class. That's fine with me. You just must drop yourself. The only exceptions, if you're part of any kind of program that requires some type of participation, I have to follow those rules. And if you're in a program like that, then I would need to drop you myself. But otherwise, you will be responsible for dropping yourself from the class. As I said, participation is just completing your assignments and completing the tests. Follow the directions of each assignment carefully to receive full credit. And again, if you have questions about anything, feel free to let me know. Late assignments, anything after the due date, will receive at most half credit. I would not recommend that. These assignments are 25% of your grade, and so you might as well complete them on time so you can get hopefully full credit. Helpful hints. I will post a lecture video for each chapter. The videos will help you understand the concepts described in the book. I will cover most but not all of the information in the textbook, so please be sure to read the chapters and watch the videos. In addition to reading and watching the videos, you'll need to set aside time each week for homework. This will vary by topic. The best way to learn the material is to be presented with material in multiple ways. As I had said, you will see that through the class, you'll have to work with the concepts presented in multiple ways, and the goal is to really help you learn the material and deepen your understanding. Now, this is key here, communication in an online class. I will do my best to communicate with you frequently and clearly so you understand the expectations of the course. If you need to reach me, feel free to send me an email. If you're having difficulties, please contact me. I'm a teacher because I care. I want to help you learn. I want to teach. But if you don't contact me, I can't help you. So there's very little I can do if you're struggling through the whole semester and then you contact me the last week of class. Proactive communication is really key. Along with email, if you want to set up online office hours, I'm happy to do that as well. Grading, you can see here. It's a weighted grade, so your Canvas and Launchpad's assignments are 25% of your grade. So even though you're getting specific grades and points throughout the class, all of that kind of comes together and is 25% of your final grade. And then each of the other exams are the other 25% of your grade. And then once I do that weighting, excuse me, your grade is very simple. It's just a straightforward percentage for A, B, C, D, etc. If you need an incomplete is very, very rarely given. It's only considered for students who have completed all of the work up until the end of the semester, and you must be passing the class. And then you experience an unforeseeable emergency at the end of the term. So it is something that very rarely happens, and we would need to agree upon conditions for completing the classwork. Students with disabilities, whatever they may be, please let me know if you have accommodations. And if you need accommodations, then please contact the Disabled Students Program and Services. Here's their phone number. Nothing is open on campus, so don't go to that room. And of course, if you already have your accommodations, please let me know so that I can be sure that I meet those needs. I've made every effort to make the course accessible to all students. If you encounter a problem accessing anything in this course, please contact me and I will help fix the problem as soon as I possibly can. And while I'm happy to answer your questions about materials and accessibility issues, I can't help when you encounter technical issues with Canvas or Launchpad. So if you can't log into Canvas or Launchpad is crashing, that is beyond my expertise. So you'll either need to contact the Canvas help desk or Launchpad support when you're having those technical issues. Of course, you're welcome to let me know about the issues, but I won't be able to fix them. There's also a phone number to call if you think you need any kind of tutoring. I'm not sure what's available over the summer and with our online situation, but you can always give that number a call or, of course, let me know. And I've given you the phone number for the Launchpad help desk, so if you do have questions because Launchpad isn't working, feel free to call them. They are open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. They are not open on the weekends, so please be sure to contact them during the time that they are available. In terms of our tentative lecture schedule, anything that, this is my plan as of now, but if anything changes, of course, I will let you know. Our first week, we're doing the introduction and syllabus. We just did this now. There's a chapter 0 in our textbook. We're going to get through that. And chapter 1, Introduction to the Science of Psychology. I would say the first 2 weeks have the most information. It's the most technical information because we're going to talk a lot about how you do science and research the first week, and then a lot of biology the second week. So these are really the 2 weeks with the most detailed, probably complex information. So hang in there. You'll get through it. But start early and start working through it. And my lectures are also much longer for these 2 chapters, or these chapter 1, and then for the following week, 2 and 3. I've actually broken some of them up even into 2 lectures because this is the more complex information. As we go through the class, my lectures get shorter, and I think the information gets, and the topics get to be a little bit more just generally understandable. So, chapter 0, chapter 1 is what we'll cover the first week. Chapter 2 is biology and behavior. As I said, I'm a neuropsychologist, so I love this. This is how the brain works and the neurons in the brain, but it is pretty detailed and scientific. And so again, I've broken up my lecture to help you really understand this material. I said this chapter's packed with biology. Please give yourself time to learn these terms. And then sensation and perception. This is vision, hearing, etc. Again, pretty biological. So give yourself some time. After the first 2 weeks, then we have midterm 1. So midterm 1 will be on chapter 0, 1, 2, and 3. You'll have 60 minutes to take the test. And it may be taken anytime on Sunday, June 28th, or Monday, June 29th. So you pick the hour that you want to take the test in one of those days. Then we're going to continue with week 3. This is chapter 4 is consciousness. This is sleep and drug use. And chapter 5 is learning. How do we learn material? Pretty important when it comes to being a student. Chapter 4, we're going to do chapter 6, which is memory. Also important, as you want to remember the information you learn. And then chapter 7 is cognition, language, and intelligence. We are going to skip the cognition and problem solving part and only read, and you'll only be tested on language and intelligence. That starts on your ebook on page 256. So you're going to skip the kind of first half of the chapter. Then we'll have our second midterm. This again may be taken anytime on Sunday, July 12th or Monday, July 13th, but you'll take that 1 hour anytime on those 2 days, and it will be covering what the next chunk of information. So chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7, again, 7 only language and intelligence. Chapter 5, we'll talk about human development. Boy, now that's a huge topic. You can take a human development class, you can take multiple ones. So we are going to skip the adulthood part. We're going to start prenatally and work through development up through adolescence, and then we will stop because it's just too much information. And then chapter 10 is personality, real interesting. And then for week 6, this is when we're going to talk about psychological disorders and treatment. So that's chapter 13 and 14. All right, and then the last, our last midterm will be taken that week 6. So it's a little bit of a shorter week, and you'll take your exam anytime on Thursday or Friday, July 23rd or 24th. And that final will, again, not be cumulative. It will only cover what we had just learned. So chapter 8, human development, not covering adulthood. Chapter 10, personality, 13 and 14. So our class ends the July 24th, and you'll be able to take your final exam during any 60-minute time on either Thursday or Friday. All right, well, thank you very much. Looking forward to having you all in class, and go ahead and get started.